What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's that time of year again. It's January, and it seems like it's going to be a yearly trend to just go over the CES latest tech trends at the start of every year. It's something we just tend to do for some reason. I guess we're into technology and trends and gadgets.
We are.
And looking at things that are going to distract us even more than our phones.
Yeah, well, we just like to see what's up and coming, and sometimes they'll have ones that sort of repeat from the previous year, or it's like built on from the previous year. So I'm always curious kind of like what people are getting up to like in the tech industry, and then I guess how close is it from like being a weird and wacky, tech design on this to actually becoming into like commercial.
Yeah.
Like not commercial, but just like consumer, like normal consumer stuff.
Not everything they show every year is obviously going to. What are you doing? Fidgeting with the. I haven't done yet.
The remote.
Okay, you're not prepared. Obviously, every year they have a bunch of new products and stuff that are getting it released, but obviously all of them don't make it to market. So we just go over some interesting things that we've seen. Some, I guess, hits and misses. Is this working? Yes,
it is.
Weird gadgets, interesting gadgets, life-saving gadgets. Potentially boring gadgets. I don't really know. I've seen a couple interesting ones this week that can sort of take us in a new direction in terms of human communication compared to what we're used to now. Have you seen anything interesting released?
I've just read a couple of headlines. I think because a big thing from last year was all about like health tech and just things to help you, I guess, detect diseases or whatever it is. This year, I feel like it's a little bit more focused on screens, if that makes sense. I've seen a lot of buzz around like TVs and these like laptops, tablets type scenarios. So they're very much kind of like, I think there's a big emphasis on watching or how you consume. So very much like, I don't know, just better watching, or like they're putting a lot more effort into the visual stuff. Yeah,
so there's a huge trend this year. All the TV brands are doing like a two display, like you look through a transparent display to see the back display, which kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, it creates like that 3D effect in a way without wearing the glasses.
Yeah, so you kind of get overlays. I was watching them do play sports, a game of soccer, and the back image is the actual soccer game, and then there's like a front transparent screen. Interesting way to watch sports games, to have the game stats and the player stats on that front transparent screen.
Yeah, and then
I don't think people want to hear about TVs though.
No, but there's also like the foldable screens. Obviously, we talked about that last time, but like laptops are doing it now, or like screens that extend. So I think there was like, I think it was a Lenovo or a particular brand. You'd have the screen and then it would extend further up. So it's almost like you've got like a arching sort of screen
until
in front
it just
of you.
becomes a never-ending scroll of an LED scroll. You just roll it out 2 meters long.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what it's going to get to, right?
Yeah, you just be able to keep extending. It's like the clowns where they get out like the silly string or like the handkerchiefs and they just keep pulling and keep pulling and pulling. Like that's what the screen's going to be like.
All right, so you've got an article here going over a couple of I guess they call them the best gadgets, but we'll be the judge and jury.
We'll be the judge of that, yeah.
So like you said, last year was a lot of health stuff. So here's a device by Withings BeamO. That offers multiple wellness insights. Does it go on your finger or something? Have you looked into these, or you just found the article?
No, there's some that I looked into. So like it's like a scanning device.
It just scans your finger or your pulse and like blood
multi-scope. So thermometer, stethoscope.
Oh wow! All into one device.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a one-off thing. It's a Swiss Army knife.
Yes, but for medical detection, I guess you could say.
So it takes readings using different sensors. So I guess it will notify you of irregularities in your heart rate and blood flow.
Yeah, and that's pretty handy. Just say if you don't like wearing a watch and stuff, you just kind of hover over someone and it just takes a scan of like how you're feeling. That's kind of pretty trippy.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. A lot of the stuff I found was basically Star Trek coming true. A lot of the gadgets that you see on Star Trek are basically a real thing now. That's one of them.
The medical scan.
Yeah. One that I've seen, I'll just jump across to one of these articles talking of Star Trek, is this one. This is a company that does basically real-time language translation.
Oh, right. Because I know Google tried to do sort of a version with Google Translate, but there was a massive delay with it, I think.
So this is called a Time Kettle's X1, makes language translation effortless.
Ooh.
So I think they announced this at CES. They're a company, they've got a bunch of other products, but this basically translates in real time, and you just basically pull out a little earbud and it will translate into the person.
I love that design. It looks pretty cool.
It reminds me of like an old Sony MP3 player.
It does, yeah, but it's got like a cool little screen, like the earbuds come out of it as well. Very techy.
So it's a standalone translation device. Again, very Star Trek, being able to translate in real time. Allows users to quickly converse in up to 40 languages. Meetings can either be held face-to-face or over the phone. Users can even use the device to quickly translate a line or two should they need to ask a question. Interesting for like doing, international business calls.
Yeah. Just like translating, it will just be because like we've talked about how the internet limits those barriers, right? So you've got like the space barrier kind of eliminated, so you can talk to anybody in America or England or whatever, just like countries that speak English in like real time, but you still have like that language barrier compared to other countries that you don't speak that language. So this is just like another thing that's just getting rid of that social barrier. It's interesting.
So yeah, it's basically a Google Translate in a device, but with earbuds.
Yeah.
So I don't know how sterile that would become over time.
Well, be like you
going
have to look after. Well, it's like you just have to look after your earbuds or whatever like in-ear devices that you have, right? Like for all those that are listening out there, just take yours out if you own them and just have a look to see how much earwax is in there. If there's heaps, I suggest to
PSA now
give a little give a little cleaning. Yeah.
So this company makes a bunch of different stuff like that. Company's called Time Kettle.
Because it all just depends, obviously, the app that it's using and then how quick the microphone can pick up different languages. They don't want to have to put too much on the actual listening aspect.
It's a two-way simultaneous earbud that says supports up to 6-person.
Bilingual translation.
So 6 people that are bilingual at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Support 40 online. Okay, so you can use it for like Zooms, remote group chatting. Interesting. Be really good for travel, but again, it's like... This guy's trying to hear me in earbud. Should I put it in my ear?
But it'll be, just say if you're, I don't know, whatever industry you're working in, right? But like you can't go work for a particular company because they don't speak your language or whatever it is. Now it's like, because a lot of people are either working from home or they have remote jobs. Again, it's just like another thing. It'd be like, well, I can, talk to this person or contact this person. It's going to be fine.
It's going to have to be, that looks like exactly like an AirPod.
Yeah, it looks like
how long before Apple just incorporates this into the next generation of AirPods?
Well, classic Apple, they're probably looking at this and be like, oh, that's a good idea. All right, guys, this is the next, we're going to...
I don't see why they wouldn't just add it in.
Yeah, just
Seems
like a Siri assist.
Something they can do so easily. Or they just acquire them. I guarantee they're working on it, though. This makes total sense.
It would have to, yeah, because they want more people. I bet it would just only if you own like another pair of like AirPods or if you have an Apple device, it'll translate for you. Have to be some sort of like gated community for Apple to be into it.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like their own people in their own ecosystem.
Okay. So this is the BeamO we're talking about, the
medical scanner.
Medical scanner device.
Well, it's number 1 4-in-1 vital monitor. Withings does heaps of kind of very detailed like health tracking stuff.
So the 4 main things it does is body temperature, so it's thermometer, digital stethoscope to listen to the heart and lungs. So you just place it on the outside of your chest.
Yeah.
Medical grade ECG to detect possible cardiovascular events, or issues rather. Blood oxygen level provides oxygen saturation, which can help access part of your respiratory system.
So
basically blood and lungs and body temperature.
Or if you're a bit on the older side and you have heart condition or something like this, is a great device to kind of have handy if you feel like you're about to have a heart attack.
Kind of interesting. Everything is just going to be so small and, in your hand, in your top drawer. Like you don't need to go anywhere and do anything.
Well, just like the size of that, right? It's pretty much the size of the like translator like buds and stuff. Could you imagine if you just have like 10 different like little size things like that? So you got one for medical, one for like communication. You've got another one for, toxin like detecting. I don't know. It's just, I'm just trying to think of like all these different types ones. Like it's.
Yeah, they all have their specific own use, which it ties in nicely to another article I have coming up later. I don't know if you've seen this at CES. Seems like it's the buzz thing that's come out, but I'll show you at the end. It might tie all this in together if I'm good enough at
tying everything together. If it's a device I'm thinking of, we'll see.
Telemedicine. So obviously, you could like zoom into a doctor using that device and they would get like real-time readings.
100%.
So that's actually pretty cool.
Oh, if you live regional or super remote and don't have a chance to be in close to a hospital, whatever it is.
Just like pull your shirt up so I can use my stethoscope, listen to your heart, or listen to you breathe, but then you just do it on your back. Kind of interesting. Then he's like, get here now. And you're like, you're 400 kilometers away.
Send the chopper.
The chopper.
It's in the helicopter.
So those two things are very Star Trekian, I thought.
And it won a few of the CES awards as well.
Did
So
it?
yeah, so it won smart home, digital health, and embedded technology. So this must be kind of a big medical player then. Like again, like it has so many different purposes. Just say if you're a parent with a really young baby, you can check temperature, all that kind of stuff. So it's, it puts that what if worriness out of the window.
Interesting. Coming soon. Sign me up. Should we sign up or?
Do you feel like you'll need it?
No.
Then maybe just
I
not
don't
yet.
wanna say
Maybe in
that,
10 years'
but
time.
Just saying it a bit too early.
Yeah.
What else did you see this week? So we go back to this original article. I'm jumping all over the shop.
You're right. Fitness tracker.
Fitness tracker, emphasis on the fit garment. Yeah, I don't. This is what I don't like when we just talk about the next generation
Of something that already exists.
already exists with like a
Yeah.
minor improvement.
We want new stuff.
I want new stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm just
heart rate monitor.
This is greedy consumerism at its finest. Monitor, boring, right?
I think there's like snap-on monitors.
So there's this new dog door, I guess a smart AI dog door, pet door. The tag, it'll open based on the tag that the pet is wearing. The tag connects to the door and only opens when your pet is nearby. So if someone else's pet tries coming in, it won't open.
Yeah.
Or if your cat has like prey in its mouth, it'll detect that there's prey in its mouth. And won't let the
Yeah, I
cat
think
in.
that's a different device
Oh,
of
is
the
it?
cat one. Yeah,
Just put it in the same device. What are they doing? Just merge companies.
But with that one, I guess if you have like super large dogs, that kind of like handy, I guess, because you can't have like a massive doggy door that a human can come through. Or that defeats the purpose of like locking your front doors and windows.
Just replaying Home
Yeah.
Alone. More monitors.
Smart cookers.
Some interesting cooking stuff, actually.
Yeah.
AI-driven, like little barbecues.
Yeah.
I guess it would get it to the perfect internal temperature.
Yeah.
Takes the skill out of it.
Those were the, to scroll up a tiny bit, those are the extending, it was Asus that I saw, but yeah, those are the, you get just snap on like monitors and stuff. So that's where you can just have endless
Also, if
amounts
you're
of-
just listening, we're just talking about like electronics. So we are looking at all this stuff on a screen. Which,
Right, true. Yeah, so we try to describe them as best we can. Sorry, sometimes we forget that we also...
But you can watch the video version
Yeah.
wherever you are,
100%.
unless you're on Apple, and you can see what we're referring to. We're not just...
Just talking off the cuff.
Oh, and we are. Hard, just only barely though.
Yep.
Transparent TV.
Yep,
which
so
I
that's
was
the LG
mentioning.
signature one. Smartphone camera that allows as you move. So again, just some sort of content creator smartphone adaptation.
There's actually a small trend actually with AI-driven telescope and binoculars.
Ooh.
So they have, I guess, like the application and the software and stuff built into the device. So this one is a telescope, and then AI kind of powers it in terms of you can ask it questions, and it will probably just go and point to the constellation or whatever you're referring to.
So none of that, like, I guess, mathing and doing that guesswork would be like, I need to move this many clicks of ground this way to be able to see this particular constellation.
It'll probably just have like a motor on it that'll like pivot in obviously 3 dimensions.
That's pretty cool.
I'm guessing though. That's a complete guess. I haven't looked at the article at all, but it makes sense.
Didn't you do a tiny bit of astrology at uni?
I did astronomy, yeah.
Sorry, astrology. Astronomy. I can't speak, sorry.
Don't remember a whole lot. Same thing here with binoculars. So you can look through and you can press a button and it will more or less send your phone information about that bird. It has like, I think 8,000 birds in its registry. So it's just for like advanced bird watching with AI in it.
It's even on the dial, it's got like a little bird symbol. So you got like normal like camera, probably like nighttime, daytime, and you got a little bird symbol.
Yeah. You can record, take photos and video and send it to your phone, and it will basically keep a log of every bird you've ever encountered.
Yeah. I think there's a little squirrel symbol as well. So it must be for like other little stuff.
You get distracted with the most tiny details.
It's just like, oh, where do you see that in binocular?
$4,500.
Whew.
But that's, some serious bird watching. There's a bunch of them.
Right. Far out. Some binoculars are expensive.
Yeah, it's a...
Very niche thing.
It's for, I guess, for like rich guys that don't want to go golfing.
I guess, yeah. That they, instead of buying all cycling, so you got the golfers, you got the cyclists,
We're making big stereotypes here.
and then you got the bird watchers. What was are you missing? What was the part? So, it's just a...
Yeah, you're looking at boring ones, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's just me.
It's a
you
record
want to
player.
talk about that? No?
No,
that's
it's fine.
kind of lame. Fascinating episode, guys.
Yeah. Hey.
Smart grill.
A lot of people are cooking more. AI
So these ones aren't
cameras.
weird. All right, this is the one I was going to talk about. This is probably the most interesting one of the whole release, in my opinion.
I've seen this pop up, but I haven't read too much about it. So it's like is it anti-smartphone device of some sort?
And what anti-smartphone?
Yeah, yes, it's like an opposite of a smartphone.
Kind of. So this is called the Rabbit R1, a personal assistant to use your smartphone for you.
Right.
So this is more or less like, again, think Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
telecommunicator, whatever they call it.
Yeah. So it's an AI built into it.
Mm-hmm.
This device is basically a little phone type of device with a voice, but a button that you press to activate voice.
Right.
So it's just you talking to AI, so ChatGPT or their version of it. There's only one button. It is a touch screen. You just press the button, you ask it a question. Mm-hmm. So it's like a touch to Siri type thing, but more advanced than Siri.
Right.
And it will have the screen give you details, much like Siri would, but it actually connects to apps.
Gotcha.
So it's a standalone device you use with your phone, but the whole concept is on your phone you have hundreds of apps, but none of them connect to one another.
Right.
So this is like the whole model reverse. So I'm one thing that connects to everything, and you're just talking to the one thing all the time. Mm-hmm. So there's no apps. It's all just built in.
Yeah. So it's just a pure digital assistant that just gets all the information
for you. It'll get better over time. Okay. It has a camera that like rotates, so it's front and back, so you can do things like film your fridge and be like farm your recipe with these ingredients. It'll use your camera to do that.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
And then you can, get it to connect to Spotify and listen to it in the background. It's got a microphone. It's got speakers. Mm-hmm. It's a cool little device. I think the first couple of batches are like sold out immediately.
Oh, that'd have to be. If it's $200 USD, that's pretty cheap.
Yep. So I thought it was pretty cool. There's a very compelling keynote speech.
Interesting. And it's very it's a very simplistic design as well. Super simple.
It's very, it's got that kind of iPhone vibe. It's got USB-C and SIM slots. So let's watch a little video and get a bit more detail about it.
See what it means. Okay.
Have you seen the...
Whoop. The ad blocker blocking it?
Whoa. Sarah, you're on the ball. It's not even on. That's a bit weird. Watch it for here.
Okay.
Have you seen the Rabbit R1? This has to be the cutest, most gadgety gadget I've seen at CES.
It's very
AI-powered,
slim.
of course. It's not meant to replace your phone, but this ambitious little personal AI device, the size of a Post-it note, is a new kind of virtual assistant that can learn and do all sorts of things for you. You can control your music, send messages, online shopping, book a table, call an Uber, ask it questions, but instead of opening apps, it's all through a series of cards in different categories. And you just press the push to talk button, give it your command, and then through a series of automated scripts called rabbits, it'll carry out your orders. It even has a rotating 360 camera for photos and videos. Designed in collaboration with Swedish firm Teenage Engineering, I love the look of this thing, but for me the best bit is the price. It's just $199 and there's no subscription. I've pre-ordered one, and I think as a curiosity, it's definitely worth checking out.
So it's like a one-off cost. There's no subscription
Interesting.
to use the software.
My question is it going to be faster than actually you opening up because with all these new devices?
Yeah, so they do speed tests and things like that.
Right.
The response is I think 500 milliseconds.
Okay.
That's what they were saying anyway. There might be here.
You've had those before where it's faster just for you to open up your phone and search for it.
Rabbit. So it's... Let's see if I can summarize this. You ask Rabbit R1 to perform a task, and it navigates the necessary apps on your phone to do so without requiring you to actually futz about with your smart device. It learns your most common tasks and streamlines your everyday processes in an effort to make you more efficient and keep your phone out of your hand. Currently runaway hit. First 10,000 pre-orders sold out. Another 10,000 sold out. In hot demand.
Well, yeah, especially because of that price. If they come in different colors?
I think it's just the one.
The one color.
And it stands out. That's if you have too many different colors, it's like people kind of have to know what it is first. Like, is it going to be this revolutionary new thing where people want to use their phone less, have a more simple, one-to-many type of connection through this app or through this, not even app, through this device? If it could control everything as opposed to you unlocking every app individually on your phone, it could put a lot more time back into your hands. Maybe you just pick up your phone 2-3 times a day and you're just like logging events, logging notes to this thing all day, and then it kind of does maybe a big batch dump of things that you've done or needed to do
That's pretty interesting, especially if you want to like curve your infinite scrolling or things like that. You're always talking or always accessing it through this particular device. So that's interesting. I could probably see that being incorporated, but I'm not sure if it's...
Is it going to be like a cultural shift?
Exactly. Yeah. Like everybody just has a virtual assistant they're constantly talking to then just like, I don't know, like add this to my calendar and, you know, add this to the shopping list. Like,
yeah, because when you do that, you get distracted by 4 other apps on the way out. That's the problem. This is what it's kind of designed to do, you know, stay focused.
Yeah, you add a note, then you quickly check Instagram and scroll through your emails. I get it.
Much like a walkie-talkie with camera device. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's very slim. Like it looks cute. Like it doesn't look like it's too much of a weird device that you need to have on you all the time. It's just like this little clicky button kind of thing.
So that's them scanning the fridge. It depends how much you use AI and ChatGPT to like form like little silos of information, whether it's a nutrition coach or a business coach or a financial coach or maybe a philosopher type of ChatGPT where you're just asking it questions about mindset and you know, different ancient philosophies or whatever. They all have their each individual little silos of knowledge. If you could wrap that up all into one device, be really interesting.
Yeah. Like it's just...
And then apply it to your daily world as well. Because when you're doing things on every other phone, it's not like the device kind of knows who you are and then might navigate to those apps with what it knows about you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I've had that happen kind of on my phone. Just say there was for a while that I didn't realize that I was checking like the weather every single morning before I'd pop in the shower so I'd know what to wear. Then all of a sudden my phone would bring up to be like, check weather kind of thing. It starts to learn your habits after a while, especially you're very routine based. So this is probably going to be able to take over and be like, oh, it's time to do this or you haven't done this yet. Yeah. So it'll just be like an actual like assistant.
Interesting. I think it'd be useful. I could see it being even for like, you think about how many random notes end up in your notes folder or in your actual post-it notes on your desk, or if you have a book that you carry around all day and you make notes about things to do or action later. This is a little version of that basically.
Yeah, well, this is phase 1, right? Like, could you imagine what 3, 10, like 20 down the track would end up being like?
So do you want to invest in a pre-order?
Maybe. Could be interesting. Imagine if it just ends up turning into like a hologram ring or something like that, and that's your assistant.
Maybe. I mean, did you see the Samsung robot they built? It
No.
looks so weird. Just jumping all over here, but it is what it is, guys.
Yeah.
We haven't had a Magic Mind. That's why we're not focused. I felt all over the shop today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is going to definitely help, but it's going to keep us on the rails for at
Keep the
least the
thoughts a
next 30 minutes to an hour. We'll knock this back the back end of this episode out. I was like, I'm feeling like
just messing up. Even I'm the same. Like my words aren't coming out properly.
Well,
like
the coffee was weaker than usual, I think.
Well, I usually get double shot, but you're just having a normal one at the moment.
Well, yeah.
And then I've just finished my juice, and I still want something sweet. So that's where the Magic Mind can really come in handy. Because even though it's a little booster, it's a pretty sweet booster.
Yeah, they're like 20 calories, so it's got a bit of matcha in there for a bit of sustained focus and energy. Because one thing we always get at 2:00 is lack of energy, despite having coffees.
I know. I get massive brain fog sometimes as well, like where I just can't think properly.
Am I allowed to agree? Or
you can agree, yeah. I get massive like brain fog or like forgetful like periods and stuff, and I just find it's one is like I'm just crashing hard, so my brain isn't working properly. And then that's another thing. It's like lion's mane in this, and we've done a few like mushroom experiments and stuff before where like lion's mane is just, not only is it pretty tasty, but it's good for your brain as well, good for your brain health.
Yeah, so these are little energy juice shots, I guess you would call them. 20 calories, 3 grams of sugar. A nice little pick-me-up in the afternoon for a bit of even keel, especially on a Sunday. You know, you kind of rocking the ship a little bit, knowing that tomorrow back to the full-time grind. So just easing into the end of the weekend where a little Magic Mind is nice. If you want to give them a try, you can visit magicmind.com /LMIH for the Look Mum I'm Hustling discounts. And you can also get 20% off using the coupon code LMIH20 if you want to order a little bit of Magic Mind.
Yeah, just get that little pep in your step.
I always feel like 3 more.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
pretty
so
tasty.
That passion fruit, it lingers the perfect amount.
It does, yeah. It doesn't have those weird aftertastes that some of the other energy drinks have. So,
Well, how did it compare to your normal orange juice?
not too bad. Like orange juice, I'm just a big fan of anyway. But having that little bit of extra sweetness after it as well was quite nice.
I made a little cocktail.
Ooh, that would actually be pretty nice.
Magic mocktail.
Because people like mix their coffee in that just to have a more of like a balanced out kind of like I guess, caffeine float in a way.
Yeah, I guess depends how much sugar you have as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little too much in the coffee. So this is the Samsung robot thing I was going to show you.
Right.
It's kind of a weird thing. I don't really see it, taking off dramatically in households.
I was like, what is he doing bending down? Robot ball. Is it exercise ball?
As usual, at CES, Samsung has a ton of stuff
This
to
is
show
from
off in their booth
Engadget.
on the show floor.
On,
But the most
YouTube.
interesting thing this year is probably Ballie. Samsung first showed off Ballie in 2019, but it's back this year as a much larger bowling ball-sized smart home robot assistant. And what's cool about it is that it has a built-in projector, so when you ask it to do things or help you around the house, it can give you visuals as well as just talk to you.
I think I saw like a headline, a robot watches while you sleep or something.
Yeah,
I think it might be
basically,
this one.
it probably would. It would just scan you all night.
Yeah.
It's like it's helping you
Instead
do a
of at the
workout
wall,
here.
Ballie could project the workout onto the roof instead of on the wall.
Oh.
Next,
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
he asked Ballie to show him what his day was like. So Ballie rolled over to a wall, played up its calendar there, and reminded him it was his wedding.
So those
anniversary,
listening, this is a
time to get some
little
flowers. Of course, Ballie can place
beach
it
ball
all over the
type
floors
volleyball
and,
size thing
get
that rolls
set
around
as
on
well.
wheels along the
In
floor.
the kitchen, he asked Ballie to show him some videos of some recipes, so it rolled into the kitchen.
So it's pretty
with
much
him,
like
stuck
its
that up
main
on the wall,
feature is
and
its
it also
projector.
gave him a view of what's inside
I suppose,
of
yes,
the
you're not
oven.
pulling your phone out. Yo,
Samsung
show me
oven
how to do
oven.
this
There's
recipe
cameras in it,
again,
so
rather
you can
than
see what
unlock
you're
phone,
cooking.
go
Finally,
to Google
the doorbell
Chrome,
rang.
find the
Gotcha.
tab you're
The
looking
camera
at.
switched
It's like a
over to
hands-free,
the doorbell camera, so you can
essentially
see
like
it
a
dropping
device
off
that
as
kind of
well.
follows you around.
I can see this thing getting booted. Like the PlayStation controller age, just smashing it when you're using your last life
Want to
up,
play a game of soccer?
and you just see this thing rolling around and it's not listening to your commands.
But people have like robo-vacs and stuff, so people are kind of, this would be for the person that's, I guess, used to having something that's like roaming around their home. So now you have this and be like, yo, show me this.
Another shadow, just
Yeah.
what we all need.
Show me my highlights from Vietnam holiday, and we'll just, post photos or videos on the wall.
If it could fly, I'm down. If it's
Yeah.
like a mini drone and it can land and take off, something on the floor all the time, I'm gonna end up kicking it.
But it's interesting, right? Because like, obviously, it's just got a projector, right? So I'm assuming they're probably using some of their already pre-existing tech because they've already got like a small
Yep.
projector called like the Freestyle, I think it is. And that's, it's pretty decent. But a lot of electronic stores, like you can get TVs, but a lot of people end up getting like small projectors and stuff because you can move it. You're not like stuck to just being in your lounge room. You can, put up a bed sheet in the backyard and
that's
watch
true.
movies through there.
Fair point. Let's look at this one. Weirdest tech and gadgets we saw.
I wonder
So
if
we've
how
seen
many
all
are going to be repeatable.
Yeah, we've seen all the apparently good ones.
Yeah.
There's Ballie there.
Mm-hmm. Robotics moonwalkers.
Have you seen these?
No.
These are dope. So these are motorized roller skates, more or less.
I'm just thinking of,
Off-road.
the kids, the Heelys. They're just like, they've got
Wheelies?
they've got like the little roller
yeah.
skates on the heels, and they're
It's-
just like heeling around
It's like
everywhere.
that, but fully can go off road like pretty crazily.
I'm just seeing like these like skater dudes or whatever, just like using these and doing like
You can
off ramps.
I haven't got a problem.
Let me go to the.
If you can find it, someone's actually testing it or using it.
There was a video clip of someone like riding through the streets like a high pace
Yeah,
on these things.
I struggled being on a skateboard, let alone something that's like stuck to my feet.
Well, you have your roller skates up there.
I do. I
never
should
even
actually
put 'em
try
on.
them. Those ones I feel comfortable with. That's fine.
This might be something else. I thought no, it has the wheels.
Yeah, roller skates, yeah. How much were they? Like $1,400. Poof.
Yeah. So they're just I guess
Electric skates.
powered skates. There was one I seen that it had to be more than $1,400. They looked so high tech.
It was like for just like ones with rockets at the back of them or
You're
something.
basically going the speed of a car. Yeah,
Ooh,
it was insane.
great for some daredevils. Volkswagen. So Chat GTP.
Yeah, all the stuff's coming into cars. Cars and fridges and kitchen stuff, everything's going to have AI.
Well, everything, is going to have AI incorporated no matter what it is that you're using. So, yeah, it's just going to be the nature of the game.
We've mentioned this a dozen times, but now you're starting to see it coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen a bunch of cooking things with that were AI powered. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It just saves you the time of checking. Obviously, you can get little probes for meat and stuff to look at temperatures.
Yeah.
But I guess there's just more features on something like it's like an AI oven or an oven or an AI grill rather that will handle many different things.
Yeah.
Cook it to perfection. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like it's because there's always an element of science within cooking anyway, so it makes sense they've got technology to help that. Imagine, never burning a Christmas dinner or whatever again. Like you've always got the perfect
That's
temp.
the slogan.
Yeah, never burn a
fuck-
Christmas.
Never fuck up Christmas again. Actually, that could work.
Yeah.
There's just all sorts of random stuff. Yeah,
That's the cat one. So that's Flappy AI cat door. That's the one that stops the dead mice coming through.
Okay, Flappy AI. They shout out, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's not creepy. So that's an AI
CPR dummy.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're all AI CES out. I feel like I'm exhausted from all the tech. So what's the big takeaway? Health. Again.
Health always. Yeah.
And then I guess things are just trying to become
Not like hands-free, but like it's whether it's that Rabbit Assistant or things like that. Like, how can you touch your phone less, and how can we make it easy for you to access information?
well, everything in that case, like the AI features themselves, regardless of the device, means you're using your phone, picking it up less, especially if they'll have voice, which fridges will have the voice, cars will have voice.
So tech is pretty much doing everything for you. So it's essentially how can we make humans dumber? So maybe AI is going to be taking over.
Maybe we're just moving further and further away from writing. We went from writing in school to then typing things out in terms of getting words out into the universe.
Well, that's 1984 George Orwell. Everyone forgot the ability to write.
And now everyone's going to, instead of typing it into ChatGPT, now you're asking it questions. You still know the language, but you might not know how to write it. You can read it, but then once they start replacing all of the like text responses from AI with videos and visuals, maybe we just don't ever know what words look like. We know what they are in our heads and we can say them, but we lose text.
Well, it's like learning a language, whether it's a voice translation or things like that. You don't have to learn how to write the language down anymore to how to learn it. You've just got this device, chatting in your ear, telling what that other person's saying. Yeah.
All of it's a scary future.
Yeah, you could just pop on the train and be able to hear other people's conversations.
All right. Well, we'll have a good conversation here next week, episode 100. I can't believe we've talked that many hours together.
I know. It's been blah blah blah.
Yeah, we're not selling it. We're coming out of the double digits with a bang here.
We'll do something. We talk about dressing up the room every single time, but we'll dress it up this coming time. Big episode. Should we just do a bit of a reflection on previous episodes?
Yeah, people seem to like that.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to think too hard because it's our actual experience and we can't mess up the details like we do every other episode.
Yeah, we can just bring up the YouTube channel and be like, oh, remember this episode?
All right, well, let's wrap it up there. Appreciate all of you rocking. Before we got to that 100 episode.
He's to 100 more.
Yeah, he's to the next 100. See who jumps onto the bandwagon and regrets doing so. Thank you so much. Listen on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everywhere you get the apps. The audio apps, podcast apps.
Or if you happen to be one of those lucky people that ended up getting one of those rabbit little tools, talk to it and tell us you want to listen to Mama Hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone will listen back in a few years and be like, I listened to the episode on the rabbit.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to the rabbit users. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.